Florence, Italy, a city of Renaissance beauty, of artists, scholars, and serene hillsides bathed in golden sun. But beneath its picturesque charm, a shadow once crept through the night. From 1968 to 1985, a serial killer stalked lovers in the countryside. He struck with brutal precision and left a signature of horror behind. The press called him Il Monster di Florence, the Monster of Florence. He was never caught. This is the chilling true story of Italy's most notorious and mysterious serial killer. It was a summer night in Signa, a small town near Florence. Antonio Lobianco and Barbara Locci sat in a parked car. Lovers, having escaped the eyes of a judgmental society, they had come to this quiet road to be alone. But their secret meeting turned fatal. Shots rang out in the night. Barbara's young son, Natalino, was in the back seat. Miraculously, he survived, but what he saw would haunt him forever. The boy wandered miles before reaching a nearby house saying, "Mum and Uncle are dead in the car." Barbara's husband, Stefano Mele, confessed, but his account was riddled with contradictions. He named Sardinian relatives, then recanted. Authorities, eager to close the case, accepted his confession. But in hindsight, this murder bore the marks of something far more sinister. September 14th, 1974. Stefania Pettini and Pasquale Gentlecore parked in a secluded lover's lane near Borgo San Lorenzo. That evening, they were shot multiple times, and then Stefania was mutilated with chilling precision. Her body was violated post-mortem, stabbed over 90 times with a vine stalk arranged grotesquely. The similarities to the 1968 killings were too distinct to ignore. Police began to suspect a serial killer, but they had no leads, no witnesses. A ghost was stalking Florence. After years of silence, terror returned on June 6, 1981. Giovanni Foggi and Carmela Danuccio were attacked near Scandicci. Same weapon, a .22 Beretta. Same brutality. But now the killer had evolved. Carmela's body was mutilated post-mortem with chilling precision. Her sexual organs were removed. A forensic pattern began to form. Couples in parked cars, attacked at night, shot with a .22 pistol, and the female victim mutilated. Investigators found .22 Winchester Series H bullets, identical to those from the 1968 and 1974 crimes. The monster was back, and this time he was making a statement. Only 4 months later, the monster struck again. Susanna Cambi and Stefano Baldi were parked near Calenzano. The same ritual: shot, mutilated. But this time, Susanna's body was removed from the car and dragged several meters. Her purse was left behind, untouched. This wasn't a robbery. It wasn't passion. It was ritual, calculated, cold. Florence was on edge. News headlines screamed of a serial killer on the loose. People avoided country roads. Lovers stayed indoors. Yet the monster defied the fear. On June 19th, 1982, Wilhelm Meyer and Jens Rusch, two young German tourists, were found dead in their Volkswagen van. One was dressed in women's clothes. Police believed the monster mistook them for a heterosexual couple, but this raised new questions. Did the killer act only when triggered by a specific fantasy? Was he watching from the woods, observing his prey before striking? In the countryside of Galuzzo, Paolo Minardi and Antonella Migliorini were attacked in their parked car. But Paolo tried to flee, putting the car into reverse. The killer opened fire, and Paolo was later found barely alive. He died in the hospital, but never spoke. Forensic evidence showed the killer attempted to drag Antonella's body away from the car, a deviation from his normal pattern, likely interrupted by Paolo's resistance. The public, once merely frightened, was now paralyzed by dread. The police had no suspects, no witness descriptions, no solid leads. A French couple, Nadine Moreau and Jean-Michel Cravecvili, were camping near San Casciano. In the night, the monster crept into their tent. Jean-Michel attempted to flee, running through the woods. He was shot in the back. Nadine was killed and mutilated as in previous cases. But this time, the monster mailed a piece of her body to the lead prosecutor. This was a direct message. The monster wasn't just killing. He was watching the investigators, mocking them. This final act sent waves through the country. It was no longer just Florence's terror. It was Italy's nightmare. With pressure mounting, police were desperate. Theories exploded. Was it a satanic cult? A rogue surgeon? Was the killer working with others? Some proposed a group called the School of the Red Rose, allegedly composed of high society members practicing occult rituals. Then came Pietro Pacciani, a farmer with a violent record and knowledge of the countryside. He was arrested in 1993. His home held knives, pornographic material, and items that prosecutors linked to the crimes. He was convicted in 1994. But the case fell apart on appeal. Pacciani died before a retrial. Had the monster escaped justice again? Authorities pursued the so-called Compagnie di Merende, Pacciani's alleged accomplices, Mario Vanni and Giancarlo Lotti. Lotti confessed to being present during 2 of the murders, claiming Pacciani performed the killings. But Lotti's account changed repeatedly. Despite the inconsistency, both were convicted. Still, public opinion remained divided. Many experts believed these men were scapegoats, but the real monster remained unknown. Since 1985, no further crimes linked to the monster have been recorded. Was the killer dead? In prison? Or had he simply chosen to stop? The case files span over 100,000 pages. Dozens of books, films, and documentaries have attempted to piece together the mystery. Yet no one can say with certainty who the monster was, or why he did what he did. In the Tuscan hills, beneath the olive trees and vineyards, something remains unresolved. The Monster of Florence left behind more than blood and fear. He left behind a question. How can someone vanish into legend while hiding in plain sight? Perhaps the monster was not one man. Perhaps he was many. Or perhaps he was simply better at hiding than anyone imagined. But one truth is certain. The Monster of Florence is a wound in Italy's soul, a mystery that refuses to rest.